Yeah, not a whole lot to say other than really, really fired up to be back on the field with our guys these last couple of days. It has been a ton of fun. The guys are excited about, actually having an opponent. I think, what did we play Kansas State on the 5th of December? So we're going to go 24 days without a game. We went whatever it was prior to that, I think right around 24 as well, a couple weeks prior to that too. So hadn't played a whole lot of football in a while. So, practicing gets kind of old after a while. But the good thing is we also, because of all the COVID issues, we haven't really had an opportunity to even practice. So just, again, really, really excited to get back out there. The kids are flying around, having fun, smiling. It is really fun to be around them. And we'll go one more practice tomorrow morning, let the guys get off for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And then we'll resume on Saturday, the 26th, and kind of button up or tie up any loose ends, if you will, on the 26th and 27th, and then head to San Antonio on the 28th. So extremely grateful and honored to be representing the Big 12 again in the Valero Alamo Bowl. And I know our kids are excited to only have to drive an hour and a half down the road to go play in a bowl game, especially in 2020 when the bowl game is really just a road game, if you will. Questions?
Go ahead and start with Danny.
Tom, I'm curious, with your 4 defensive captains who have opted out and ended their careers early, is there anyone on defense who has stepped up in the leadership department, or anyone you've asked to say, hey, we need you to step up and lead this defense? Because obviously Sam's still there for the offense, but I don't know if there's anyone there for the defense.
Yeah, there is. There's multiple guys that are on our leadership council. You've got Josh Thompson, certainly comes to mind at corner. Keandre Coburn definitely comes to mind, and Moro Ojimo definitely comes to mind. So there's still plenty of leadership on that side of the ball for sure.
Brian, go ahead.
Tom, along those lines of guys who are now out, talk about who you're excited to see play. Maybe guys who haven't gotten a chance this season because someone was ahead of them, and now they are next man up. Who are some guys you're excited to see play?
Well, I don't know if it's because we haven't seen them. I mean, I think, we're going to start 2 true freshmen on the offensive line in Jake Majors and Andre Carrick. Those guys, obviously Jake played the whole game against Kansas State, and Andre played, the second half and played really well. So to see what those guys do, to see what a Jaron Thompson can do with, a week and a half of practice under his belt to get ready. Keaton Crawford is a guy that I think we all have very, very high hopes for. To see Alfred, play full time at 3 technique, that'll be fun too. So there's guys that we've seen play. I mean, there's not going to be any. You're not going to show up in the Alamo Dome, Brian, and be like, "Hey, who is that?" But definitely a increase in their role and contribution and but again, the Kansas State game, I think I counted, you're talking about 2 true freshmen O-linemen, a true freshman tailback, a true freshman safety, 2 true freshmen 3 technique. I mean, there's a lot of true freshmen out there on the field making plays for us in a big time ball game. And I expect them to do the same in San Antonio.
Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, Tom, you just kind of touched on it a little bit, but I wanted to ask you to maybe go a little.
Mustache today? Is that your Christmas?
This is my Christmas stash. I like to hang some ornaments off of it on the day of. It's really nice. The family.
Yes, I love it. It looks good, by the way. It looks good.
Thank you. I wanted to ask about Alfred Collins. Obviously, with TQ being out, he's probably going to get a little bit more run. Just kind of what you've seen from him this season, and what you expect to see from him in the Alamo Bowl.
Yeah, I think Alfred has the biggest thing Alfred's got to work on, he's just so big and tall, his pad level at times when he gets tired, gets a little bit high, and he's worked really, really hard, in staying in his gap too. Sometimes, he freelanced maybe a little bit too much early in the year, and, he's a lot more disciplined now, and, with his pad level, with his gap integrity, and then, the explosiveness for a guy that size is very, very impressive.
And then, just another young guy on that line too, Vernon. Do you expect him to maybe get a little bit more run in the Alamo Bowl too?
Yeah, definitely. I think he'll be backing up Alfred. Steven, I meant no disrespect to your mustache either. It looks really, really nice too.
All right, Sam, we're going to talk about your beard.
No.
I know I need a shave. It's been that kind of holiday season. Tom, you mentioned you guys hadn't practiced a lot lately, and it's been a while since you had a game. Has that helped your guys get a little bit of a mental break, given the grind of what this season has been and the challenges that have come with it? And did you guys at all discuss whether or not to play a bowl game? And if so, how much has the layoff that you guys have had the last couple of weeks helped in that discussion?
No, we didn't discuss it at all. I don't know if the players might have, or, maybe in passing, but nothing that came across my desk at all. And then to answer your question, quite honestly, no. I mean, the break has not. I mean, the things that we have asked these guys to do away from the field house has not changed. In fact, it's gotten more strict and more stringent and more testing and more, isolation and staying only with the people in your immediate, your apartment or your household. The poor kids that, live in the dorms, they don't even go outside. They come to the field house and then they go back to their dorms. They don't leave, and so it's been a long 10 months for these guys, and certainly been a long season with everything that we've asked them to do. And they're plowing through here this last week, and I'm sure the day after the Alamo Bowl is over on December 30th, you might be able to hear a giant collective sigh of relief from the entire team. Not that they're going to go do anything that would harm their community or harm their family, but, just to, not have to get tested, as frequent as they get tested, and not have to be just so isolated, will definitely be a relief for them.
Anwar, go ahead.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, which one's that? What's his name?
That's Titan. He just woke up for a nap. I thought I put him down and executed it perfectly, but he just woke up 1 minute ago. So
What is he about? Looks about 2.5.
2.5, and he's in the 100th percentile, so he's doing good. I'll give you dibs in the future. I'm curious, if it's kind of bittersweet for you guys, because you've had some guys opt out, but I'm guessing that must be a sense of accomplishment that you've actually putting that many guys in a position to potentially get drafted, especially when you start thinking about the number of guys that might get drafted on this team. So kind of want to get your thoughts on that, and then maybe talk a little bit about the conversations that you've had to convince guys to return for that extra year of eligibility.
Yeah, it's both. I appreciate you saying that. No, it's we're excited for guys like Sam Cosme and Joseph Osai, two guys that potentially could go in the first round. We think Caden Stearns will test well and has had a good enough career. And then obviously with Brennan, his physical traits will certainly be something that is appealing to, I'm sure, a lot of NFL clubs. So really, really proud of those guys, proud of our coaches and our strength staff for developing those guys, some of which came in very ballyhooed, others did not, but they've all developed themselves into potential first and second rounders, and that's exciting for this program, and it takes a while to get there. You gotta start with recruiting, and then you got to develop them, and I think the future is very bright when you look at the trajectory of improvement in that area. And then as far as the seniors returning, yeah, that's big time addition for us. Anytime I had a meeting with all of those seniors and told them, we'd love for them all to come back, and I meant it. And some have decided to move on, which for obvious reasons, and others, weighed their options a little bit. And again, it's never a convincing. I'm not here to tell a young man what to do. That is not my job. I'm here to counsel, to mentor, to weigh the pros and cons. I tell them all, Texas is going to be fine. Texas is going to be fine. We're better with you here, but we're going to be fine. We're going to survive. So the advice that I give these guys is really comes from a parental standpoint, if you will. I want to weigh the pros and cons with them. I want to give them, all of the information that I have. And then, once they do make the decision, it's my job as a mentor to then support them in that decision.
Joe, go ahead. You there, Joe?
Can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me?
Can't hear you.
Hello? Can you hear me?
And we're gonna have to move on to the next one. Chip, go ahead.
Tom, any update on guys coming out of the COVID protocol and how that could impact the bowl game, and any position switches happening in practice right now?
Yeah, I can't really comment on the COVID stuff, Chip, but we continue to get guys back daily. So that's encouraging. We unfortunately, there's still going to be a couple that that won't be out in time to safely put on the field for the Alamo Bowl, which is disheartening. But we got to follow the rules. And position changes. Montrell Estelle has asked to try to play wide receiver, and as you guys all know, it's been our position that, players are going to play where they want to play. And, we've made a point to never really force a player to play any position that he didn't want to play. And so Montrell, who was a tremendous wide receiver in high school, wants to try his hand at playing receiver. And then Jalen Green, is kind of doing some double duty just today, asked to try some safety. And so, especially with our numbers where they are, so he's going to kind of cross train at safety. We just started that today in practice.
And who's, at that jack position, obviously without Osai in there, how do you see that playing out for the bowl game?
Yeah, to be the guy, the usual suspects, Jet Bush and Reese Leto, and we'll see if we can get Prince some reps, but from an experience standpoint, it'll be mostly Jet and Reese Leto.
Time for one last one. Chuck, go ahead.
Yeah, Tom, I know you're going to have seniors competing in the Alamo Bowl, and in the offseason, you'll have the freshman class come in, presumably some transfers, but how much of this is a preview, dress rehearsal, whatever you want to call it, for the team that's going to be on the field in 2021? And what do you want to see in this bowl game from all the guys who are expected to be back?
Well, I think it's both, Chuck. I think it is a culmination of a really good season, and an opportunity to send these seniors out again as the winningest senior class since Colt McCoy's, which is an accomplishment to say the least. And to send these seniors out with their fourth straight bowl victory, I think is important to everybody in this program. But it is a bit of a turning of the page too. You're right. And especially with the COVID and guys choosing to move on to the National Football League. This will be a good test for some of these young guys. But most of them have experience, and it's really more of a precursor, if you will, to spring ball. Obviously keeping our fingers crossed that we have spring practice. But just again, another opportunity for a lot of these young guys to go out there and compete in a game setting, and get that experience. And then, but I do think it's important not to discount the seniors that'll be playing their last game in the bird orange and white too. That's a big time motivation for a lot of guys on this team.
Sam, I guess, have you given thought to returning for your additional year of eligibility? Since we're seeing a lot of the seniors making announcements, what can you tell us?
I have given thought to it. I haven't come to a conclusion yet. I'm trying to, enjoy these last few weeks, but I haven't closed one door on anything yet.
What'll be the big factors for you?
But see, those are the hard questions I need to think about. I haven't really, given incredible in-depth thought to it, because it is a big life decision for me. But yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Ryan, go ahead.
Sam, let me ask you this. Who are you personally excited to see play in this game? Because let's be honest, there'll be a lot of guys out there who haven't gotten the bulk of the reps in games during the year.
I'm excited to see Bijan play again. I'm always excited to see him play. I don't know. There's a lot of guys. It'll be interesting to see who really steps up. But always excited to watch Bijan.
Danny, go ahead.
Sam, I don't know if you've gotten to work with him much, but Tom just told us that Montrell has moved to offense and is playing a little receiver. How would you rate him as a receiver? You've obviously known him for a while as a DB, but how is he as a receiver?
Yeah, Montrell is an incredible athlete and can run by anybody. I don't think he's played offense since high school, so he's got a lot of the fine-tuned details of receiver to work out, but he has a chance to be really good.
Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, Sam, obviously, you're not going to have Derek in this game. You're probably going to have Jake under center again. Just curious, what that relationship has been like with him, what you've seen from him over the past few weeks.
He's been incredible. He's been a guy that came in and worked really hard immediately. And I feel very comfortable with him at center. He knows every call. He gives me great snaps. So he's been doing a great job. And I feel very comfortable with him up there.
And then just with, Brennan declaring for the NFL draft, I don't know if you talked with him about that at all, or is that kind of him and his family's decision? And just, what are y'all going to miss from him in the offense in the bowl game?
Definitely going to miss Brennan's ability to make plays down the field. I love and respect the heck out of him and wish the best for him. He's going to be a great receiver at the next level.
Jeff, go ahead.
Sam, for you and those guys that are, true fourth-year seniors, you guys are trying to win a fourth bowl game in a row. What has it been about the last few bowl games that have, I don't know if it's in prep or mindset or what, that's allowed you guys to be so good in bowl games the last few years?
I think it's because we just cut loose and have fun. We've normally been in the place where we're playing the bowl game, and curfew's a little bit later. We get to just cut loose and have fun and enjoy playing the game. No stress. And just enjoy each other and have fun with it. I think that's what has led to our success.
Anwar, go ahead.
Well, Sam, how are you doing?
Great.
Hey, I'm just curious, Sam, Why is this not a no-brainer decision for you to just, finish up your time here at Texas and go pro? You already have a Senior Bowl invite. We know that you want to play on the next level. Why is it? What is making this a little bit more complex than from the outside than it should be?
I think it's because no seniors really been in this position to where they've been granted an extra year of eligibility. And also just because both options are incredible options, it's not like there's one clear cut, what's best for you and what's best for the rest of my life. There's positives to each. And, so it's a very unique situation, but I'm just blessed to be in a situation where there's two really positive events that could occur.
So can you walk us through like your process of like, once the season's over, do you sit down with your family? Like what do you tend to do to try to come to a conclusion?
Yeah, I think after the bowl game, I'll sit down with my family, and over the next week or so, I'll sit down with people that I trust and my family as well, and kind of talk it over and see what we think is the best direction to head.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Anwar.
Brian, you're up.
Yeah, and kind of building on that, Sam, though, I mean, that's the question that I have. I mean, look, either agents or runners are trying to get at everybody and get in y'all's ear. Over the years, guys leave early when they really shouldn't have. I have no doubt that people have either reached out to you or reached out to your mom or somebody. And what do you tell these people? Are you tell these people, hey, get lost? Hey, come see me after the bowl game? What's your message to these people? Because I know they're contacting you.
I've always just said, I want to focus on this season. And if I don't handle business this season, then what we're talking about doesn't even matter. So it's always just been, I want to focus on the task at hand, focus on winning for my team, because if my mind's somewhere else, then I'm not giving my team everything that I have. So just focusing on the task at hand.
But do you get pissed at the guys who continue to make advances? That they keep clawing at you, I'm sure.
No, I don't get mad at all. I actually appreciate it. It's a blessing to be in the situation that I'm in. But everybody's been very respectful of the fact that I do want to focus on the season, and that's the most important thing to me right now.
Cool.
One last one, Danny, go ahead.
Sam, you can just say you're gonna miss us. That's why you're having a hard time making a decision doing this.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I don't know if I can give up our Tuesday press or interviews, whatever you want to call them.
Sam, with the rest of the captains, the 5 captains opting out and Derek obviously hurt, have you felt more responsibility to step up and lead, or guys stepped up and help kind of shoulder those responsibilities?
Yeah, it's been a lot different with really no other captains on the field. It's an interesting dynamic, a lot of young guys, but I think the guys are stepping up and doing a good job of understanding the role that they're gonna have to take on. So guys have been stepping up, and it's been a good thing to see.
Josh, you're one of the guys that Tom mentioned has kind of stepped up leadership-wise over this past few weeks with your 4 defensive captains all opting out. Obviously, you're a 4th-year guy. You're on the leadership council. How much of a responsibility have you felt to step up and help lead those guys on defense with the captains who have left no longer there?
It's not tough because I always took up a leadership role with the corners room, but now I see younger guys that need someone to look up to. So I'm just doing it as each position, and I'm just leading as much as I can and just having that role with the players that have opted out, and just knowing that it's a big role and I'm aware of taking up to it.
Brian, go ahead.
Josh, what's the mood of the guys who are still in the locker room? Do you feel the Alamo Bowl is a chance for you guys to show, hey, we're still here. we're still planning on competing at a high level despite who's left?
The mood's very good. I mean, everybody's out. Everybody's having a great time at practice. We're still competing. I mean, I don't really see anything change. But overall, the mood's great, and we're just ready to go out to compete in the Alamo Bowl and just have one of our best games, and always look forward to that.
Who are you excited to see play maybe more in this game than they haven't before?
Ooh. I'm excited to see Jaron Thompson. Just looking at his growth over the last few months has been great, and just his effort and how hard he works is very good.
Cool.
Chip, you're up.
Yeah, Josh, I was going to ask you about Jaron. What stands out about him? What have you seen from him in terms of his development? What makes you think, he's a guy who can have an impact? Maybe, I mean, he already has. He had an interception against K-State, but what do you like about his development?
He just always he loves to work. He loves to learn, and you can see it in him. Those type of guys you want in your program are just coming in, working, putting your head down and just go. I just love his competitiveness, and just everything that he does just stands out. And for him to be a freshman and learn his defense is very, very great.
And what do you think about Jalen doing some double duty corner and safety?
Jalen, he's very smart. He can pick up the things really quick, and I think that's what's so special about him is how he can just go to a different position and just learn it like that. Just having football intelligence really helps his game.
Chuck, you're up.
Yeah, I was interested. I mean, since you've been here, there have been a couple big wins in bowl games where you guys were underdogs. Georgia game last year against Utah, and guys going for the fourth straight from a program standpoint. What is it, I guess, and whether it's how you prepare or how you approach it, that's been successful for you in bowl games?
I mean, we take every game as preparation, to do well. But I mean, I honestly ask myself the same thing. But we go out and work and compete, and I mean, we're always looked at as an underdog for some reason. And I mean, we're just going to go out there and work as hard as we can and just play to our ability to do so. And I mean, I ask myself that all the time also.
Danny, go ahead.
Josh, I have two. First, you're among those who announced that you're coming back. Why did you make that decision?
I just know what I'm capable of doing. This year was a very weird year. Also, just switching positions and really not having the spring to just help me with my technique or whatever. So I know just getting one more year under my belt would just help me and my team in the way that we need to go. And I'll just be trained for that with the coaches that we do have.
And then, are any of you DBs giving Montrell any grief for switching to offense, or how's he looking over there?
I mean, I messed with him. I messed with him a lot yesterday, just because it's weird seeing him in an orange jersey at practice. He actually tried to come warm up with us, and I pushed him back to the other side. But I mean, it's nice seeing him out there. He's happy. He's having fun, and that's what you like to see in those type of guys, as long as they're having fun and working.
Jeff, go ahead.
Hey, Josh, just real quick, in terms of some of the young guys on offense that you've had a chance to go against, we didn't get to see Troy O'Meara this year. You got a chance to go against him in camp before he got hurt, and we heard Coach Herman and Sam talking about how good he was. How good was he? And with you coming back, how excited are you to see him across the practice field from you, this spring or next summer, whenever?
Troy is a freak. He's a freak athlete. I mean, just having him in fall camp, it was I don't know. I've never seen a freshman come in and have that impact, a receiver, and he was just making plays, attacking the ball, everything. And I mean, that's what you like to see. And for me to come back and go against him in practice, I'm really excited for that, because iron sharpens iron, and just going against him every day would just help me also and help both of us.
Bijan, Merry Christmas, man.
Merry Christmas to you.
How has practice been? What's the mindset of the team going into this Alamo Bowl, your level of excitement to play the Colorado Buffaloes?
First of all, practice has been great. There's been high energy in practice, and it's been a lot of fun. Just practicing for each other and not worried about anything else. And it's gonna be fun playing a different conference in Colorado and just getting used to how they play and just preparing for them. But I feel it's gonna be a great experience. Getting to play a different conference and a different team.
What stands out to you about Jake Majors and Andre Karich?
Those are some beasts. Just to see how they've been developing throughout the season, and they're in my class, so it's been a blessing to get them out there right away and to get them experience. So for next year they'll be ready to go and already be set to see the expectation that we have for them. But they've been great. Those are my guys, and I just very blessed to have them in front of me blocking.
Is Andre he was kind of, he was finishing some dudes in that K-State game, kind of sitting on them. How would you describe his attitude?
He just has a dog mentality. He wants to destroy everybody that's in front of him, and it doesn't matter, who you are. And I just feel that, with him having that mindset and him delivering that mindset to the whole offensive line, it'll be a scary sight. But I just love to see, how hard he works, and he does it so controlled, and just to see like when he does get in that zone and whoever comes across him, they just better watch out.
Brian, go ahead.
Hey, Bijan, how are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Do you think enough guys understand how a bowl game, while it is the end of the season, it also provides the springboard into the next one?
Right.
You're going to have a lot of young players out there. Do you think enough guys grasp that this is how you launch yourself into 2021?
Yeah, me just talking to the class, they understand that, fully, and they know that, this production, this game will set, demeanor for next season. And they always come out just saying, we got to produce this game, come strong this game, because this is leading to what, I feel could be very special, with this team, with this whole program, for the city, city of Austin. I feel they could see, this Tuesday or next Tuesday when we come out on that field and produce, to see what is going to happen, coming up for this team.
Yeah. Along those lines, maybe talk a little bit more about what is your personal feeling about the program right now? Everybody was upset at the end of the regular season. Recruiting, may or may not have been what it was, but just where do you feel Texas is heading right now?
I feel we're heading in a great direction. How we're supposed to. I just feel this year has been just a build-up year, for something great. And I'm so high in my faith that I know that guy has a plan for this team, and I know that this year we just, with COVID and everything, it's been a little different. But then when next year comes, just to see what's going to happen, and just have that faith of this team, and just see where we will go, and just how hard we need to work to get to that spot. But I feel it's going to be a great direction headed for this team.
Chuck, go ahead.
Yeah, we hear all the time about how the game slows down, for freshmen at some point. But walk us through, what does that mean from your standpoint? How have things changed? How are you a different running back or player than you were at the start of the season than what we saw in the K-State game?
It's just like for every level, you got to get used to the speed of the game. Speed always, is greater than what you used to been playing. But I feel I've been a little, as a young running back, I've been anxious in the beginning of the season to really just go and not really think about anything, but just kind of go off of my God-given ability. But it's more to that, and learning the game and learning how to anticipate defenses and just being ready to, find your ways and find how you're gonna work throughout the end of the season. But I just, it's a blessing to see like what it's come to and how I'm comfortable in the backfield and not anxious for anything or nervous at all. So I just know it's been a blessing, for me.
And real quick, have you done any lobbying of Sam to come back next year at quarterback? He says he's still not decided.
Yeah, we talk sometimes. I don't know what he's trying to do, but whatever he's gonna do, I just know it's gonna be a blessing either way, and he's gonna thrive either way. And I love that dude, a lot, and just how he took me under his wing. But we talk a lot, and we'll see what happens.
Marcus, you're up.
Hey, Bijan, just on the subject of Sam, could you go a little bit more in detail on what your relationship with him is like? And do you remember your first interaction with him after you got on campus?
Yeah, our relationship is strong. We're really brothers. Before the season kicked off, we went to snooze together, and we just sat down just to talk about life and life as a college athlete, life in general, and just how we, are as players. And it's good just to sit down and bring a young guy in, under his wing, because, I'm still trying to find my way out throughout the campus, football, school, and just having him to tell me his experiences, has been a blessing for me, and I hope for him as well.
Got one last one. Danny, go ahead.
Are you old enough to remember Colorado as a Big 12 school, or since you're from Arizona, that's a Pac-12 school in your eyes?
I didn't even, I thought they were a Pac-12 school the whole time. My grandpa's a Pac-12 referee, and I just thought I never knew they were in the Big 12 at all until I got here. And they were saying they were a Big 12 team, and I was like, and just see how young I am. I mean, yeah, I never knew that.
Anybody else have any follow-ups?
I had one follow-up. What's one thing you've learned from Roshan this year, and one thing you've learned from Keontae?
From Roshan, definitely leadership, and just how he's been a leader, since his freshman year, and just how he's, made his way through this team, and how the team really looks up to him as a, passionate football player. And, he's such a selfless dude, and a humble guy that, I learned a lot from him. And then with Keontae, he just taught me how to, be a good human being outside of football, and even in football, but really know who your friends are, and really seek out, people and their intentions. So they both taught me a lot this year, and I was just very thankful to have them both, in my corner, throughout this whole season.
Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, kind of building on that, Bijan. I mean, guys don't really understand how difficult this fishbowl is until they get here, right? Sure. And I wonder, what have you learned this season that even now you would tell, I don't know, Jonathan Brooks coming in next year, of what are the ups and downs, pros and cons of playing at the University of Texas?
I wouldn't say there's no downs. I haven't faced anything, but what I would tell him is just stay patient. You're gonna get coached hard. Coach Stan Drayton, he's a experienced coach, and he knows everything up and down with football, but he's only trying to get you to be where you want to be and at your best level. So I'll just tell him, just stay patient, keep working hard, and God will do the rest for you. But just continue to be the dog, that they are, and everything will be okay.
Cool.
Last one, Anwar.
Hey, I'm just kind of curious from your perspective. Talk about the transition, from high school to college for you. They always try to make it seem like it's really easy for running backs, but I imagine you might have a different, point of view, of that. So I'm just wanting to see what, the things that you learned throughout that process before you started getting a little bit more time. And then the second portion was, did you feel any more pressure stepping on campus because you were, a 5-star that everyone knew about? Was that weight a little bit more difficult to carry because maybe you wanted to prove yourself?
Yeah, for your first question, I just feel that the speed of the game always changes for especially a running back. And, for me, I want to get back to like high school and how I want to do everything, but I just know that college level, it gets better. And I mean, until you learn how to, read defenses, anticipate and everything, you need to learn that kind of stuff before you can get to the level where you want to be at. And I feel that, how I'm getting coached and, everything that I've been learning throughout the season, I feel that it's really starting to open up, and it's really I'm really starting to see, different things and really get comfortable in my game and, in myself. And then for your second question, I feel no pressure at all. I knew I had to come in here and try to make an impact, as best as I can, any way I can for this team. And I just know that, but the direction that God is taking me towards, that everything's going to happen how it's supposed to. But yeah, I have no pressure. Just trying to be my best and just do what I love.
And just one last clarity question. How do I make? I've heard your name pronounced different ways. I want to make sure I got it clear how we're supposed to pronounce it.
It's Bijan.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Same to you. Same to you.